The year is 1996, and a man by the name of Ken Sagamori was walking the park when he was stopped by the sight of a beautiful young girl and her multicolored dog. He would later go home and draw this same girl and multicolored dog, and that same year, he would present this drawing to a man by the name of Satoshi Tajiri. Later on in 1996, the world would be introduced to Pokemon, and I would be introduced 2 years later to my first addiction, collecting Pokemon cards. Some of you guys might be thinking, first addiction? Yes, first addiction. My second addiction is this curly-headed cutie right here. Arr. This card right here is worth $1,000. And that's just one of my lesser impressive cards. Some of you guys might be thinking, wait, you own thousands of dollars in Pokemon cards? The answer is yes. Let me start from the beginning. The year is 1996, and Pokemon Red and Green was just released in Japan. 2 years later in 1998, Pokemon would be released worldwide, and they would have everything. Cards, shows, anime, manga, TVs, movies, you name it, Pokemon had it. This, in turn, produced a term called Pokemania. Like most card games, you get the cards and play the game. Pokemon was a little bit different. They had a catchphrase, gotta catch 'em all. And at the time, they made it seem pretty easy. There was only 151 Pokemon. Well, 152 if you counted the top secret Pokemon that was only meant to be given to the creators of Pokemon, Game Freak. So as the world goes through Pokemania, the Pokemon company decides that 151 isn't enough. So they slowly began to add Pokemon cards till the artists didn't know what to do anymore. They started designing cars and calling them Pokemon. So as a kid who grew up with the original 151 Pokemon, I never collected beyond the Pokemania timeline. Fast forward the years 2020, and thanks to Logan Paul and the Corona Time epic, Pokemon cards skyrocketed to crazy new prices. There was entire countries that were out of Pokemon cards. You can sell a Charizard and make life-changing money. The question is, which Charizard? There's plenty of different Charizards out there in the wild, so which Charizard do you sell to get that life-changing money? Well, in the collector's world, there's grading services that give collectibles the stamp of authenticity needed to be sold at crazy high values. A Mint 10 is a perfect grade. So that's step one, you need a Mint 10 Charizard. Next, you would need to know which edition do you have. Like I mentioned before, there's many editions out there. There's first edition, second edition, VMAX, GMAX, Tentacruel, Mikachu. There's so many, you get the picture. To keep things simple, you need a first edition Mint 10 Charizard to make that life-changing money. So I started collecting again, not knowing all the aforementioned information, and I was spending money I didn't have trying to find $1 million cards. Eventually, things started to get really serious. At any given time, I'd have $200,000 to $500,000 worth of Pokemon cards in my house. Ultimately, I've been searching for a very elusive card and recently finally had the opportunity to get it. Only catch was I didn't have enough money or Pokemon cards to trade for it. So I devised a plan. I would acquire the Logan Paul NFT card and either trade it back to him or another major player in the Pokemon scene. Once obtained, I would finally be able to trade for the rarest card in the game. Most collectors would assume it's the Pikachu Illustrator cards because of the rumors of how the cards got into the circulation, but that's not true. Recently, the owner of the rarest cards lost his job with Wizards of the Coast.
Whoa.
Oh, okay. So the owner of the rarest card lives in Japan and recently had to sell his card to a shady figure in the collector scene. This card is a one of one, meaning that it is the rarest card in the Pokemon universe. The card is so rare that it's rumored to have only seen sunlight 2 or 3 times in the past 24 years. The card is of a drawing of the most beautiful girl in the world and her multicolored dog. This is the card that was used for the very first demo card in the Pokemon trading game. So I started with $1,500 and a non-graded Charizard. I was able to trade that for a PSA 10 graded Chansey. The poor guy didn't know what he had. It's a $25,000 card because the card was a misprint. After that, I traded, so I finally landed on an incredible opportunity. My inside guy let me know that there was an event being hosted, and not everyone could get in because it was an invite only. So I waited for a while and finally was able to obtain my invite. Inside, you have a 50-50 chance of doubling your collector's worth in cash or walking out with absolutely nothing. You gambled in an all or nothing Pokemon catch. My dreams were becoming obtainable goals the deeper and deeper I got into this game. The mission objective was simple. I would take my rarest card, a PSA 9 graded Pikachu Illustrator, and 100,000 cash. No job. And risk it all on an all or nothing Pokemon catch. So if you're not aware of how catching Pokemon works, Pokemon have a random catch value depending on which Pokeball you're using. Our Pokemon in question is going to be Snorlax, and using a Great Ball. This means I have a 7.909% chance of catching it within one Pokeball. So that means my odds were not great, but this was an opportunity I could not pass up. But things didn't plan out. This was it. I've hit rock bottom. And I've lost everything I've been trying to achieve. And the single most important person in my life could potentially leave me forever because of this failure. Yeah, what is, man? I'm not doing too hot right now. I just want to be left alone.
Bro, what is going on? I'm getting blown up by everybody on social media that you lost everything. What does that even mean? You knew what you were going there to do.
I did the Pokemon catch and I lost. That's it. I'm done. I'm out.
So you're not gonna try again? Like, what do you mean you're just done with the hunt?
Yeah, that's it, man. If I'm even gonna try to get back in this, I need at least $100,000. And who's to say if the guy still has the card?
Oh man. Well, hey, bro, I got it. Aren't you good at Smash Bros?
What does that have to do with anything?
Listen, dude, the owner over at that social right now is such a Smash Bros fan that he thinks he can beat everybody. I bet you if you beat him, he'll give you a second chance at that Pokemon. Go get it, bro.